Hello, Barbies, Kens, Theys, and Thems. Welcome to Nicole Reacts, a show in which I, Nicole, react to online marketing gurus that I find, that other people help me find, and occasionally who even find me on the internet. My qualifications for marketing snark and commentary are that I've owned a marketing company for 17 years. In that time, I've worked with hundreds of clients on marketing strategy and implementation. I also know a fair bit about related topics like website development, search engine optimization, and now AI. In addition to that, about 9 months ago, I started a corporate communications job. So I've also seen marketing and communications from that side of things as well. If you like marketing content where you are entertained while learning about marketing, you should check out the Nicole Reacts series on the YouTube channel. Or if you happen to be on my website, technicolsupport.com, click on the blog section and click on Nicole Reacts. You'll see all the videos there. Now, first of all, I want to thank those of you who have stuck around. If you've been here for a while and I haven't been posting much in the last 9 months, I feel like I'm finally getting into a groove with the new job, as well as keeping the businesses going at the same time. So thanks for sticking with me. Now, I've been looking for long form content to react to for a little while. And the problem is, a lot of the long form content I'm finding is compilations of short form content. So what am I going to do? I'm going to add to the problem and I'm going to react to some short form content. And I really wanted to talk about sort of AI and making money with AI. I have downloaded 20 TikTok videos that have been uploaded in the last week. I'm recording this on October 12th, so they have been uploaded in the middle of October of 2025. So if you're watching this video later on and it feels a little dated, just know that it was a product of its time. But all these videos are about making money with AI. So I want to make a prediction with you, and so that we can watch it together and see if these predictions are right. So basically, making money with AI to me comes down to one of two strategies, which each of these videos are probably going to talk about. Number one is using AI to create content and then monetizing that content. So, for example, creating a faceless YouTube channel where you read Reddit stories and uploading them to a YouTube channel and then monetizing that YouTube channel. So how are you making money in that case is through these various platforms that pay based on content views. Also, you could make content that would be basically behind a gated type thing, so like Patreon content or Schmolny fans content, if you know what I mean. So basically, whether the content is publicly visible for free and you're getting money off of ad revenue, or people are paying to access the content. You're creating content and that content is monetized. So that's option number one. Option number two is you have an existing business and you're using AI to either do some of your marketing or some of your customer service, which allows you to get more customers and make more money in your business. So, for example, let's say that I had a hair salon and I made an AI sales agent that would respond to customer inquiries on my website. So that would allow them to book appointments. Or maybe I use AI to generate a bunch of Instagram content for my hair salon's Instagram page. I post it and people see that content and book appointments with me. So I have the hair salon and that's what's making the money, but AI is allowing me to reach more people. So it's one of those two things. My relationship with AI is a little complicated, right? Because it partially is what tanked the full-time nature of my business, but also it uses a lot of environmental resources. And honestly, I think probably some of the videos we're going to watch today are just, to me, unbelievably lazy and uncreative. So, like I said, my relationship with AI is complicated. I do see its place and I do see that I can't ignore it. It would be like me ignoring the internet in the 1990s. Like that would have been silly. So I need to figure out how I'm comfortable using AI, and every single business owner or content creator out there needs to figure out how they're comfortable using AI. But no matter kind of what amount of AI you're going to use, we need to understand that making thousands of dollars a month for a few minutes of work is probably not going to happen for you. Now, I see the good sides of AI myself. I have a paid subscription to Claude Code, and about 2 months ago, I spent an entire weekend building a co-working space booking platform for my website based on having used several of them over the past 10 years and seeing features and things that I wanted, and now I was able to build something that did that. So, I do see the good in it, but like I said, the good with the bad, always on this channel is what I try to do. So, We're gonna watch about 20 of these videos. We'll see how many I have time for because I do have to be somewhere in about an hour. We'll get through as many as we can, but just let me know if you like this format as you're watching it, okay? And if you don't like it, I won't keep going on with it. But anyway, let's watch our first video now. I kinda love that this guy looks like he just rolled out of bed, and I will say I've seen the thumbnails of some of the videos we're gonna watch, and this is not necessarily an uncommon theme with these videos, but what I think is interesting is that the women whose videos I've downloaded all look pretty put together, and I want us to ask ourselves as a society if a woman showed up, like, disheveled. Like, if I was recording this video having just got out of bed, and I didn't put on makeup, and I didn't put on my studio lights, and I didn't put on a button-up shirt, if we would be able to take me as seriously as society would take him. But, I also like that the caption or the title in the video says, "You have a good chance of making money with AI." So, at least he's not saying, "Make $15,000 a month with me," or something like that. At least he's not making an income claim, at least in the title.
I'm popping up on your For You page. You're about to make money with AI. Let me show you how. Go to this website and go to the lead generation. In coffee shops, phone numbers without a website, and then your location. I'm gonna get a list of like 200 coffee shops that don't have a website. Then you go and
Okay.
search up one of the coffee shops, grab
Okay.
their Yelp link and copy it. Go back to this site and go to website prompt builder, Yelp link. Paste the Yelp link in here, coffee shops, generate prompt. After about a minute, you'll have a prompt right here. You'll have a massive prompt here. Copy that prompt and go to lovable.dev
Oh my
and
god.
paste that prompt into here.
And
Then
it's gonna build a
after
website.
waiting for about 6 minutes, you'll have a website for that coffee shop that has all their personal information. You gotta go try to sell the website to them. If you guys want access to this website and all these tools, send me a DM and I'll send you all the information.
Gotta slide in the DMs. Okay, so I don't hate the first part of this idea. If I was gonna look for, like, businesses in my community that didn't have websites, like, I'm a local website developer, and I just wanna see which businesses don't have websites. Normally, what I would do is I would look up businesses, and then I would go through all the Google business listings, and I would have to individually click on them and see which ones had linked to websites and which ones didn't. That's tedious. So, to me, like, saving yourself hours of research, that makes sense to me because you doing that research doesn't give any additional value to the work, and like I said, it sucks up a lot of your time that you could instead spend building a custom website. Now, couple of things. First of all, using content from Yelp, I'm not sure what Yelp's copyright laws are if we're allowed to just lift reviews without linking to them. Normally, what I do if I do take like a Yelp or a TripAdvisor review or a Google review or something is I link to the original review from the client's website so that A, we're citing our source, but B, so that the person visiting the website, if they don't believe me, right? If they don't believe this is a real Google review, they can click and they can actually see it. And you can get links to individual reviews on Google, I know, maybe also I think on TripAdvisor and Yelp, but definitely on Google, you can get a link to an individual review. So just know that that's a possibility. If there's something that doesn't quite sit right with me about generating a website and then selling it to the person, I don't know if it feels presumptuous or it feels like a little bit creepy, but if somebody approached me and was like, "Hey, I see that your co-working space doesn't have a website." We do have a website, but like let's say it didn't. "Hey, I see your co-working space doesn't have a website. I made you a website here." And they showed me this website, I'd be like, "Where are you getting this info from? You didn't talk to me about what I want." I would feel really creeped out if I got this as a business owner. If you own a business and had someone send you your website, would it feel like they were kinda, like, holding it hostage or that they were maybe going to falsely potentially represent you? Because they could just buy a domain and throw it up there. Someone could be looking for you and come across that fake website. I don't know. I just feel like something about it, like, just doesn't sit right with me. I feel like I said, something that's that personal is something that you should work with a business owner on and get consent about, for lack of a better word. Also, I wonder how accurate some of this information is. I'll just tell you guys. So, I got a new client recently about a month ago, and I've been working on a website for them. And the reason I'm working on a website for them is that the owner of the company had AI generate a website. And his coworker, who's one of my friends, was like, "This is awful." And, like, I wish I could show it to you. I wish I could show you the AI website. It doesn't look terrible on the surface, but if you start reading the content, it doesn't really make any sense compared to it's like parts of it make sense, but, not all of it does. The pictures that the AI software chose don't align with the branding guidelines. They use the wrong logo, and the whole thing is just a mess, and they're basically paying me to rebuild it. But point being is the auto-generated part might give you a good rough draft, but I still think that you as the web developer and somebody who is a human with a brain that knows the business has to look and say, "Let's keep these parts, let's change these other parts." And maybe when you do approach businesses, you sort of say, "Hey, here's a rough draft of your website, and I'd like to work with you on, like, finalizing it for you." I don't know, but there's still something about this that I don't like, and I can't quite put my finger on it, but it feels, like I said, presumptuous and also creepy. We're just gonna go with those words. Anyway, let's move on to the next video.
Things you didn't know you could do with AI, part 83. Go to string.com and then just type in exactly what you want. So I just said send me a message in Slack anytime Nike adds a new upcoming shoe drop to their shoe drop site. And then just ask the AI to send you images, price, description, and rate the hype level. And so it pretty much outlined what it's gonna do, and then it built my automation for me in real time. All you have to do is log into your Slack, and voila, you get an update every time there's new drops. This is actually crazy.
I don't know if you saw in small letters toward the end of that video, it said there was like 5 somethings left, upgrade to pro or whatever. So, the thing with a lot of these tools is that usually there's like a sort of low level free version and then you pay to continue using it. So, for example, for Claude Code, it's $20 a month and I used it to build the co-working space booking platform of not my dreams, but like that works better for me. And that took me a whole weekend and it wrote about 11,000 lines of PHP. So that would have taken me months, maybe a year to do, working on it on the weekends as I was able. But like I said, one very dedicated weekend and I got a lot done. But again, it's 20 bucks a month. And I still, like, need to, have a server to put it on, like, to put my website on and all that. There are some additional costs there, but to use the code part, you know, is 20 bucks a month. And if you have all these different tools and it's, 10 bucks a month here, 20 bucks a month there, all that is gonna eventually add up. And yes, your time is worth something. And yes, these AI tools probably should be paid because there's gonna be some environmental and other impacts that they're probably going to have to pay for at some point. But anyway, I think that this is a good use case, and I wanna just point out that, this kind of technology of making kinda 2 things talk to each other that don't normally talk to each other has existed for a while online. There's 2 websites that come to mind, I've talked about them on this channel before. One is called If This Then That, and the other is called Zapier or Zapier.com, depending on who's pronouncing it. And so, for example, I worked with an arts organization, and every time they had a new event, the intern was making a Facebook event about it. So when you make a Facebook event, you upload a photo, you put a title, there's a day and time, there's a description for the event. It like follows an event format. And so the automation that I used Zapier for was to take that, to pull it into an email template into MailChimp and automatically send it to their subscribers. So this way, when there was a new event, their subscribers would also like basically it would pull the information from Facebook, put it into a template and send it. But point being is these automations have existed for a while where and if you go on either of those websites, you can look up like I want to connect this to this. And it can be two online things, which I feel like is what Zapier is good at. And again, Zapier has a free tier, but if you every time you pull information. So every time I post a YouTube video and I want to bring it automatically into my blog, it would run it, I think, I'm trying to remember, maybe it's like 20 times or something. And then at a certain point, I have to pay for the paid level of Zapier because it's doing more API calls. If you want to kind of make 2 things, maybe that one that is online and one that isn't online talk to each other, or is things that are more sort of home related or sort of like personal life related, I would look at if this then that. So, as an example of that, I have a friend and I think he uses if this then that to it checks the weather online and if it's like a 70% chance of rain or more, he gets a text message at a certain time in the morning before he leaves for work and it tells him to pack his umbrella, so he doesn't forget to pack his umbrella if it's probably gonna rain. So, I just kinda wanted to give you a couple examples of those kind of things. So if you think of like, "Oh, I wish like when I did this that, these other things would happen." there might already be an automation created, but if there isn't, using AI to do it, I think is a pretty good idea. I also like this one because we're not using it to pull one over on another person, right? We're using it to make our lives easier, which I think is what the point of AI was supposed to be. But anyway, let's go on to the next video.
20K per month, starting from zero. Here's how I do it in 50 seconds. First, make a brand new YouTube account in the nursery rhymes niche. This is an evergreen niche with a bunch of accounts getting hundreds of millions of views. And don't worry, you won't need any songwriting skills because we'll be using AI to make all of our videos. So go to nvideo.io and enter in a prompt like creating a kid's nursery rhyme about washing their hands. Then click on generate, switch to ultra, and then generate again. You'll get a ready to post video complete with visuals, music, and vocals.
Wash your hands with soap and water, scrub it up.
Now, to get more viral ideas, just look at what's working best for other channels in the niche. And that's it, just keep posting, build a following, and then monetize. So if you want to give InVideo a try, then just comment the word InVideo down below and I'll send you the link.
First of all, you see he was a little rumpled, right? The video was well edited, but he was a little rumpled. I don't like the idea of exploiting children. I'm just going to say that. I don't have any kids, but the idea of exploiting kids with AI content makes me feel icky. I also think it's interesting that he mentioned InVideo as the tool and said that, to message him for the link to InVideo. I'm curious if in his caption he disclosed that this was an affiliate relationship or some potentially sponsored content. But him wanting to send you a link specifically kind of points to me that he has some kind of relationship with this tool that he should have verbally or maybe visually disclosed in the video, as well as maybe putting in the caption. He just said, you're going to build content and then you're just going to grow your channel and monetize. He said that in like 4 seconds of the video. And that honestly is the hardest part about content is it's not easy to have a faceless channel that you can monetize content on. And if you don't believe me, that's fine. I'm going to link to a video by Curtis Connor in the description of this video where he actually tries to follow a guru and use all their tips to make a faceless YouTube channel. This person has millions of YouTube subscribers and podcast subscribers. He also has decades of video experience. And if he can't make thousands of dollars a day or a month off of passive content, I doubt that us normal people watching or making this video in my case can do the same thing. So, all right, next video. This is so fun.
30 days, I'm going to attempt to grow a YouTube channel to make $6,700 without ever showing my face. Today is day 4 and the dog ringing at Starbucks video got 50,000 views and this is the momentum we needed. So basically what I do to do this, I asked ChatGPT to make me some banger Sora AI prompts with a storyline and it told me to make a video about a dog being a landlord. So I put that into Sora and the AI gave me a new clip. So I'm gonna just go ahead and use viewmax.io to remove the annoying ass watermark with their tool. I just uploaded the video, so come back tomorrow to check the results.
I love the dorm room content of this video. So Sora AI is a video generator. I hadn't heard of that one before, but these tools, there's like thousands of them at this point. It's hard to keep up and they keep changing with which one's cool and which one isn't. I don't know. So he's not showing necessarily that he's made money. He showed that the video got a lot of views and it generated 80 subscribers, but you need a certain amount of watch hours on YouTube and you need a certain amount of subscribers before you can get to the monetization point. And obviously, that's harder when you have a lot of short form content for you to get those 4,000 watch hours in a calendar year, unless you make a lot of short form content, which is why a lot of these people are uploading at least once a day, but probably multiple times a day, even if they're not making any money yet. So, yeah. Anyway, let's watch the next one.
AI Gold Rush is here. If you've been looking for a way to capitalize on it, now is the time. It won't last long though, so you need to jump in.
So see how she's like pretty put together compared to some of the guys we've seen? Yeah. Anyway.
Now, so save this video because I'm gonna walk you through step by step. Even if you have a basic understanding of AI, you can fully service.
He is the millionaire cheat code for small business entrepreneurs. He launched a small business and in a matter of days got Google to rank him first.
There you go. What you're gonna do is you're gonna go find that video from Greg Eisenberg. I'll name it here, and you are going to offer the services to businesses. You're going to go on Google. You're going to search for local businesses, go to the second or third page, reach out to them. Hey, do you want me to get you on the first page, number 1? And you can undercut SEO agencies that charge thousands of dollars. If you follow that video step by step, you can now offer this at a much lower rate for businesses. This is actually insane. If you literally commit probably 90 days to growing this consistently, you can actually change your life. But I don't have a website. How are they going to think I'm legit? Let's make one in 2 seconds. You're gonna go to a site called bolt.new. Don't go to any of the other ones because this one has the backend infrastructure so that when people enter their information, like their emails, it actually records them, and you can even integrate payments. Literally type in what you want for your website, it'll build it out. Then you're just gonna start calling and emailing people. Get a few testimonials and you're off to the races. You're probably gonna say this and never do it, so go right now. Go make your website.
So I want to use Bolt as an example here to kind of show you what I mean about the kind of freemium model of AI tools. So what you'll notice here is that this bolt.new allows public and private projects, and we have a 300,000 token daily limit. And that sounds like a lot, but what happens is, as you give it new prompts and as it takes in new information, it's taking tokens for you to do that. So you can't generate like an unlimited amount of websites. And then it says the Bolt branding on the websites. So to take this company's branding off of the websites, you are paying a minimum of 25 bucks a month. And it looks like that is also the level that would support custom domains. So, you know, we act like all these tools are free, but if you wanna use them in a real way, they're kind of not. Again, not like I have a problem paying for something, like a tool that I'm gonna use. Like I said, I pay for Claude Code. I pay 20 bucks a month so that I can, code things and have it fix my code and things like that. But I feel like it's a little bit misleading to act like we're gonna get all this stuff for free and that it's gonna be easy and that you're gonna get that prompt 100% correct for it to generate what you want right away, because that's not gonna happen either. Like I said, it took me an entire weekend, like 10-hour days working through the Claude code to make that plugin that I wanted. So, and I feel like I actually know kind of what I'm doing. So I can't imagine if someone doesn't have any coding or programming experience trying to give these prompts. But anyway, I don't think that it's a terrible idea to show people that they can rank in Google in particular. I will say if you're a local business, the thing that I would concentrate on is making sure that you get some reviews on your Google business page. By the way, it's free to make a Google business page. I have a video on my channel, which I'll link to in the description of this video, that talks exactly through how to do it. It is free, but what happens is once you claim your Google business listing, you're going to get a bunch of phone calls from people trying to sell you Google ads. Just you're just gonna I get them too. So, you don't need to pay to have a Google business listing, but you having a free Google business listing makes you more visible, not just to your customers, but to people who wanna try to sell you stuff. So, if you get an angry call from someone saying your Google business listing isn't monetized or like, just ignore those, okay? So you can make a free Google business listing and then you can get reviews. And I heard from one of my friends who used to work at Google, and I'm not sure how true this still is, but he said if you have 10 or more reviews, that Google starts treating you differently. And probably what you'll notice is like, let's say you're a bookstore in a particular area and you go and look at, you know, who else is listed under Google, you'll probably see that like, oh, this business has, 5 reviews and this business has 20 reviews or whatever. If you get more reviews, that's gonna bump you up and make you more visible. So you can take that link to your Google business listing once it exists, and you can send it out via email to your customers, or you can post it periodically to social media. I like to use it for customers to highlight recent reviews that they've gotten into their social media content. And then I link to where the review is on Google. And then I find that they get more reviews after that because customers are seeing not only that they have a Google business page, but they actually pay attention to the reviews. So anyway, that's what I would do. The other thing is that AI optimization is a whole thing. And I have actually gotten several leads from ChatGPT because it seems to be parsing the transcripts of these videos that I'm uploading. So they're looking at other gurus and it's pulling from my content, and they find my content and they start like looking at my stuff and then they contact me to have a consultation. So there's lots of different things that you can do to make yourself more visible to AI related to optimization. Let me know if you want me to make a video about that. I could. I'm definitely still learning about it myself, but me making a video about it would make me kind of finalize my things I've been looking into and sort of organize them. So, like I said, just let me know if you're interested. But I don't think this video is terrible, but yeah, automatically generating websites, I think is a little, like I said, if you were having it to do a rough draft, totally get it. If you're having it do the whole thing and I have no intention of touching it, I don't know how well that's going to work for you. On to the next one.
I literally make thousands of dollars every single week working from my bed as a college freshman. No, I don't do OnlyFans. No, I'm not a Nepo baby. And no, I'm not selling you a course. I basically just make AI post content for me and I get paid for it. So let me show you how you do it. So first you're going to go to this website, easyslice.ai. Then you're going to click this to make an account. So after you make your account, you're going to go over here. Once you're on WAP, you're going to find someone to clip. Let's pick Orangey. He pays $3 per 1,000 views. Then you're going to go to YouTube and copy his channel URL. Then you're going to go back to Easy Slice and put in his channel. Connect all of your platforms. Now, every single time that Orangey posts, you're going to get clips straight to each of those accounts with no work required. So let's say that across all 4 platforms, you get 1 million views. You just made $3,000 from nothing. I mean, guys, it's literally free money, all right? Thank me later. Drop a follow if you want more sauce.
Wait, so you're telling me that somebody could take these videos off my channel? Not that they would, but they could take these videos, they could cut clips of them, post it to their own social media channels and monetize them? But that's my content. Wouldn't that violate copyright law? Like, I'm using these videos and I'm adding commentary to it. So I am kind of exempt from copyright law because I'm adding commentary and I'm linking to the original videos in the description so that you have them. So my bases are covered there. But if you're just taking my content, clipping it, not adding any of your own content to it, and uploading it to your channels, that's gross. I'm sorry. This is really gross. Make your own content. Okay, next video. We're going through these a little quicker than I thought, I'll be honest with you.
Thank you for calling Comfort Pro Heating and Cooling. This is Sarah. How can I help you today?
Okay, I'm gonna show you guys an AI agent that I created in literally 10 minutes. About 2 days ago, I had this HVAC company reach out to me and they were like, hey, like, I really like the AI and I think this would like be a great fit for like our business. Can you like show me a quick demo? And I didn't have like a demo done like for an HVAC company. So I was like, oh shoot, like I got to like get this done. So I went on Retell AI, I created the whole AI agent and it honestly sounds so freaking good. And it helped me close the deal for a $3K upfront cost with a $500 retainer. So I'm gonna like show you guys like what it sounds like, and yeah. And normally like I don't create the AI agents myself. I have developers basically who create these AI agents and they make it like 1,000,000 times better than like what I could ever do it because like I don't have like a background in like coding or anything like that. So I have these AI developers who basically create all these AIs. So like when I get a business that comes to me and they're like, hey, like I need this AI agent, blah, blah, blah. Like I go to my developers and I say like, here's their issues, here's like what they need fixed. And the developers basically create the AI agent based off of like what their problems are. But this HVAC company, like the guy only had like 2 hours of open time. Like he couldn't really like, it was either like that day he could talk on the phone or it was like all the way into like late next week. So I was like, okay, like I gotta get this done myself. So I normally don't do this, but it sounded so freaking good. And like literally any of you guys could do this. Like it took me 10 minutes. I have no background in anything. I literally just went on Tell AI. As you can see, I put in a bunch of information of like what the business was like. I put in their website and here is what the AI agent actually sounds like.
Thank you for calling Comfort Pro Heating and Cooling. This is Sarah. How can I help you today?
Hey, I was like looking to get my AC fixed and I was also like wondering about like what the prices are.
Absolutely, I can help with that. I'm sorry you're having trouble with your AC. That can be so frustrating, especially when it's warm out. Just to answer your question about pricing first, our diagnostic fee is $89. That covers a technician coming out to your home, inspecting your system, and then providing you with a repair quote before any work is done. There's no obligation to move forward if you don't want to. Would you like me to go ahead and get you scheduled for a service appointment? If so, I'll just need your name, phone number, and the address where we'll be coming out.
So like that's what it sounds like. That's what I created in literally 10 minutes. It has all the information about the business. So the guy was like, okay, like that's really good. And it sold him right there. Like he was like, I like what it sounds like.
like I'm down, like let's do it. And I closed it for a 3K upfront deal and a $500 retainer. And like guys, AI is so valuable. Like what you're selling to these businesses is like gold for them. Like they love it, like they need it. Like it makes their life 10 times easier and it makes them way more money. So like selling AI receptionists and selling AI to fix these businesses problems is probably the best thing that you can do right now.
Okay, I will say that this makes sense. Sometimes a call service just isn't the right solution. So, for example, I actually hired one for 3 months this summer to try to handle all the calls we get. We use a central phone number for the co-working space, but I actually have 2 locations. One is in Bar Harbor, Maine. That's the one that's getting all the calls. And then the other is in Potsdam, New York. I could get a second phone number, but there's 5 members in Maine year round, and there's, like, 15 in Potsdam, so it seems a little silly to have 2 separate phone numbers for that. So I just route them. Anyway, so I wanted the call center to ask, like, "Oh, are you calling for our main space or for our New York space?" And they would consistently give them the wrong information, so I just had to get rid of it. But I do think this is valuable if you have a really small business and it doesn't make sense to have a receptionist, to have a phone number that, you could answer calls. I might actually look into this myself. I'm looking at the Retell AI website, and it looks like they have a pay-as-you-go plan, and it is 7 cents plus per minute for AI voice agents. So that's kinda interesting, and they give you $10 in free credits, probably so that you can, like, try it out. And it looks like they also do text messaging too. So I could see if, like I had to come up with a script for the answering service, right? I had a series of questions you would ask, and then based on those answers, like what kinds of other questions would I ask or what resources would I send them to? So you kind of putting this into a prompt or using AI to kind of get so that, your prompt was really good and then giving that to an AI customer service agent is not a terrible idea. Is it worth 3 grand? Maybe, but I think a lot of these businesses, if they could afford 3 grand, they probably could afford to a part-time receptionist, and in addition to that, that person would be physically in their building and not only could answer the phone, but could do other things for them, like filing and other admin tasks. But yeah, so I'm not quite sure about the price point, and I would also have loved to hear him continue to interact with it and to maybe give an address that was outside the service area, for example, and how the AI would have reacted to that. But yeah, it's interesting kind of when you watch these videos that sometimes you don't get a full demo, and I think sometimes that might be on purpose. But anyway, let's watch the next video.
The most gatekept side hustle in 2025 is running an OnlyFans model through AI, through FanView, through Twitter, just to name a few. If you never heard about how the AI has taken over and how the AI models are making thousands of dollars every single day for ordinary people who never like to show their face like me, babe, I'm only going to tell you, you're missing out on a whole lot of money. If you don't know how to do it, if you don't know how to be able to bill her the proper way, comment the word masterclass down below. I'll tell you where to go and I'll sit you in that class and tell you how to build her for sure. Because I don't gatekeep. That's what I know.
She's not gatekeeping because you're paying her for that information. The other thing I want to point out is during the video, I don't know if you noticed, but her hair looked good, but there was like these little like clips in it. Almost it looked like little metal clothespins or something. And so sometimes what I notice is when people make content on TikTok, they'll do something that sort of visually is a little bit odd so that you kind of pay attention. So they'll, if they have a microphone, they'll like clip the microphone to a wooden spoon and use that, or they'll use an interesting camera angle to like start off the video or something like that. So I think that partially was a little bit of a visual interest thing. I think using AI to make OnlyFans content is kind of peak ridiculousness. But I guess if there's supply, there's demand. I'm not going to comment any further on that, but listen, sex work is work. I have no problem with that. But if we're talking about unrealistic beauty standards, if we're talking about men dehumanizing women, if we're talking about, again, the environmental and other impacts of using AI and sort of using it to do things that are important to your work or important to your creativity and not using it to make a bunch of slop online, all things to consider. Next video.
It's going to be a little bit of a longer video, but I promise you it's going to be so much value that if you have not made any money using AI, this is going to be a step-by-step blueprint on how.
I'm just going to say this. Don't make content while you're driving. We're going to watch this and we're going to roll our eyes at it and we're going to hope that nobody got hurt in the making of this video.
This is going to be a little bit of a longer video, but I promise you it's going to be so much value that if you have not made any money using AI, this is going to be a step-by-step blueprint on how you can make your first $1,000 selling AI to business owners. And if you stick around a little bit longer, I'll share how I currently sell $10,000 or more products to business owners. And it all started by me testing different things using AI. That's how you can create any product. You find a problem that you want to solve, and then you start testing a lot of different things. After testing a lot of different things, this is what I found is most effective. People don't buy products or they don't buy widgets and gadgets. People buy outcomes. People buy what the product is going to do for you. So that's the first mistake you don't want to do, because I did that a lot in the beginning, and then I started realizing, wait, people don't give a crap about AI generated videos. They don't give a crap about an AI CRM system. They care about the outcome. They care about building a brand and building lifetime value with their prospects. They care about an automated process that they can wake up and there's appointments all over their calendar, right? They care about the idea of selling an extra 5 clients this month so that they can get to 30K a month instead of 20K a month. You see where I'm going with this? It all has to do with trying to find out, where do they want to be? Let's say hypothetically, you meet an insurance agent right now and you ask them, hey, how much do you guys make right now? Like, what are you making on a monthly basis? And they say,
this video seems longer, so I'm going to pause it periodically. Oh, I stopped him at a weird place. Sorry about that. But I'm just going to point out here that most businesses that I've worked with over the last 17 years do not want to share financial information with you in a first conversation. Usually you have to build up that level of trust first. And sometimes I've tried to get that information because, they'll want me to build something and I'm just trying to figure out like, okay, what's your average customer value? I'm trying to figure out if it makes sense financially for them to do it and to give them that opinion. But what I found is that most people I need to build trust with first before they share that information with me. And I don't know if other people who do this kind of work, feel free to say in the comments whether you found that same thing or whether people are willing to just be very open with their finances with you right away.
$20,000 a month, which it's a lot of money, right? That's something that's great. But a lot of times people get comfortable, and a lot of times like they don't set goals for themselves. So then where you can come in.
I'm not petting my cat right now, and he's scratching something to get my attention. Sorry about that.
As a growth partner and it all ties back to AI. Give me a second. You can come in as a growth partner and you can be like, oh man, that's awesome. So what would be your goal? Like, where would you want to get to? And then they'll say like $40,000, $50,000, whatever number they shoot, right? Then you start asking questions that help you determine what is the gap. Not the gap in money. If it's $40,000 you're trying to get to and they're making 20,000, we know that the gap in money is 20,000, right? What we want to do is we want to break it down into measurable, actionable items that happen on a daily basis. In other words, how many additional appointments must they go on to get to that $20,000 a month or additional $20,000 a month? And what they'll do is that they'll tell you, they'll be like, well, if I want to get to 40,000, I think I'm going on 2 right now. So 2 appointments a day gets me to 20. So I'll probably need like 4 appointments. Then you got to become a wizard at coming up with ideas that can help them get those extra 2 appointments.
Yeah.
And then the way you do that is you go out and you start testing different ideas. A good idea that you can test, anybody could test this, is paid ads, right? Paid advertising.
Yep. So what a lot of people will do is run lead gen ads. So what you can do is say, okay, I'm willing to pay $25 a lead, right? I did this with a spa, so we'll use them as an example. So if it's a Medi spa, people are spending usually a minimum over the course of their lifetime of about $1,000, but usually more, right? If you're getting Botox, if you're getting regular facials, if you're getting, those kind of procedures done, 100, $200 a time, and you're going to keep going for maintenance. So I was like, okay. And of the people who come in for a consultation, how many become clients and they were like, okay, well, like 90%. And I'm like, okay. So basically, if they come in for a consultation, they're in. So I can go to, Facebook or Meta ads, or I can go to Google ads or any other lead generation platform. And I can say, okay, I want to take out an ad to women, this age group, maybe this income bracket, who are within, a 30-minute drive of this particular Medi spa. And I'm willing to pay 25 bucks per name to have their name, email, and phone number. So that ad is only being shown to people with the demographic information that I've selected. And if they fill out the form and I have that information, so like the leads ended up being pretty inexpensive, but I got them like 25 leads for, I think it was around $300. And I was like, okay, so now it's time for your receptionist or, somebody to call and get these people appointments, because they didn't have any online scheduling. And again, this would have been a lot easier if at the time people were filling out the form, they could have scheduled the consultation. But even if one of those people became a customer, for 250 bucks for them to make 1,000 bucks makes a lot of sense. But the thing with paid ads is that you, as the person who's running the ads, you don't want to pay for those. You want obviously the business to pay for those. And usually, especially if they've never run paid ads before, there's some hesitancy to do this. So you got to do the math with them a bit, like this guy is talking about. So paid ads for lead generation can be pretty good. And like I said, within the platform, whatever you're taking out the ad, you can set, a maximum amount of money you're willing to pay. And what will happen is if you run the ad and you get no leads, it's because those leads would cost more money than you're willing to pay. So it's important to know your numbers for that. So yeah, paid ads are effective and they've been around for what, at least 20, 25 years online in different forms. And obviously, since these social media sites get a lot of your demographic information, you can target them more than you ever have been able to before. But there's an initial investment. And like I said, I find even with clients that are really clear with their numbers and all that, there's just some hesitancy to paying for ads. But anyway, let's keep going.
You see, people are willing to get more appointments. People are willing to pay to get more appointments if it means them making an extra $20,000 a month. I'll give you an example. If you were to ask that person, hey, how much are you willing to pay to wake up and without you having to do anything, you just wake up and you have an extra 2 appointments every single day?
Yeah, they would need some kind of appointment scheduling, and that means they need to commit to their calendar. Like, I can't have automated appointment scheduling if you don't feel like coming in on Wednesday and you've just decided that. So there needs to be some kind of online platform where the appointment can be set. So in addition to the ads, there's also sometimes an investment in setting up that system and for the providers to actually buy into that system because now they're tied to a schedule. There's certain times where they might have appointments that come in. So that's something to consider too.
If that adds up to them making an extra $20,000 a month, most of them are going to be willing to pay at least $5,000 for that. You see where I'm going with this? So
yeah,
if your goal is to help them make an extra $20,000, right, and they're willing to pay $5,000, what if you can come up with a system that can help create that outcome for $2,500? Now you can make $2,500 by creating that outcome and charging them the $5,000. How do you do all this? You break it down into like an individual cost, right? So if the person needs an extra 2 appointments per day and they're willing to pay $5,000 for that, 2 appointments per day for 5 days a week, that's 10 appointments. That's 40 appointments a month. If you get $5,000, you divide it by 40 appointments. That's about...
I can't do it either.
What's the math on that?
I don't know. I'll check it.
50 divided by 40, 50 divided by 20 is $250. $125 an appointment. That's the math, right?
Yep.
If I'm wrong, comment down below, fix me. So that means they're willing to pay $125 for appointments. So then all you need to do is go out and create a system that helps you land appointments for less than $125.
Right, through lead generation ads. So the AI appointment arbitrage, I think is like a weird way to put it, but basically you are charging a premium and then you're running the ads for them. And if you can run if you can get leads cheaper, you get to keep the difference. So I'm not sure where AI comes into this because you can set up ads without AI, but I guess if you wanted to use AI to generate, multiple different ad images or to try different ad copy and increasing the effectiveness of the ad over time so you pay less money and get to keep more of the set amount of money the client is paying you, then I guess that's how, but I don't get where AI gets into this. This is just you upcharging to run effective ads for people.
And then you can keep the money that's in between. Huge. It's a huge business model because it's never been easier to set up appointments. You can build a page using AI. You can pick up the phone and now you can cold call off of lists that give you like the person's cell phone number. Before, if you wanted to find like
Okay, so you're using AI to build the website or the appointment scheduler, and you're using AI to do these sales calls? I mean, okay.
the business owner's cell phone number, 30 years ago, that didn't even exist. 10 years ago, it was really, really hard. Now you have access to so much data. It's never been easier to help people.
But how are you getting that data? Are you buying lists? Are you buying like lists of, people in a certain kind of business and their phone numbers? Also, how is the business gonna feel? Like if someone was like, "Oh, Nicole, I can get you some leads for your co-working space," and I found out they were using like automated AI to spam call people, that would give people a bad impression of my business. So I'd be the one holding the bag if you did this in such a way that annoyed my potential customers. So just pointing that out too.
Bridge the gap of where they're trying to get to. So how do you make money in an AI?
I'm so allergic to my cat, and he's jumped on my desk like 4 different times during this video, and his hair is like all in the air. So apologies as I rub my nose and try to get it off my desk here.
Revolution, you focus on finding great people that already have great products and services. You find out where they're at now, where they want to be, and you try to bridge the gap in between by you finding out how much they're willing to pay per appointment. If there's anything I would call this AI appointment arbitrage. Arbitrage is you finding something at one cost and then you reselling it at another cost. So all these people that haven't learned how to use AI yet, they haven't learned how to generate appointments at a low cost yet. So if you go out and you start learning how to generate low cost appointments, you can find the people that haven't generated them yet. You can ask them how much they're willing to pay for them. And then you're just selling data. You're selling information. Now, you got to be careful. Some industries are highly regulated when it comes to reselling leads and appointments. But I'm just sharing like a quick.
Yeah, I'm glad he brought that up because a lot of times these people don't bring it up, but there is a lot more regulation than these people let on about using people's information, especially if we think of, like I said, a medical situation or something like that. So I'm glad he brought this up. That was ethical of him to bring that up.
Quick example, if you wanted to make a couple $1,000s over the next 30 days, go out, find somebody that you can help and start generating leads and appointments for them. And that's how money will start flowing your way. And then you do that one time, you create one good case study in one industry, and then you don't even have to sell it the next time around. You can start charging money up front the next time around. Last year, I took on 10 insurance agents. I helped them generate their own leads and appointments because they were paying $50 or more per lead off of lead vendors who were reselling these leads to other people, right? They were basically doing the business model I just explained, which is a great way to make money.
I was going to say, it sounds like they're doing the exact same thing you were doing, except they're selling the individual lead versus charging the client a monthly fee for a set number of leads, right? It's kind of the same thing. So, yeah, I'm glad he's like, "Oh, they were doing this, but I'm doing the same thing." And it's like, "Yeah, you are."
But I do things a little bit differently. Now I actually coach the entrepreneur on how to do this for themselves. And I'm building a technology product that could help coach the masses. So I'm taking a different route. But the results were after that, everybody generated their own leads. One of them even scaled past $100,000 a month by December.
Okay, so he's generating leads for insurance companies. He said he was working with 10 different insurance companies. So he's not selling them all the same leads, it sounds like. So that's good.
And then this year around, I'm doing the same exact thing, except they're paying me $10,000 per person. because I have the track record and the proof to show that I've done this for more people in their same industry. So I'm selling them on the outcome that they will get to whatever revenue goal they want to get to at a much higher pace if they build and learn how to build these systems for themselves. So hopefully that answers a lot of questions. Thanks for watching this video. If you guys want me to share some like specific tactics on how to generate low cost appointments, some ways where like you don't even have to spend money to get the appointments. There's a lot of
Here's how to get something for nothing always is a little bit suspicious to me.
like cold outreach ways to do it. Comment down below that you're watching and I'll make the next video on some executional item you guys can start trying.
Okay. So I kind of commented on that as it was going along because it was going to be a longer video, but I just love it when people use like arbitrage and it's like, okay, we're basically taking something and selling it for a higher price. You're the middleman. Arbitrage equals middleman, right? And you're using AI tools to help you do this work, but like you wouldn't have to. You could just, like I said, you could run Facebook ads to an appointment scheduler and you could set the budget based on how much that appointment was worth to that client, and how much money they're going to eventually make off that customer that comes in. Because a lot of appointment-y kind of things, either you can make a big amount of money for, like someone is making an appointment to test drive a car, and so the car is worth a fair bit of money, or they're making an appointment for their, I don't know, their massage, right? And if they like the massage therapist, they're probably going to come back and have another massage at some point. So there's going to be a certain amount of repeat customers there. Okay, so I actually have to go somewhere right now, unfortunately, but let me know if you like this format. I can do a part 2 of this if you want, but essentially we are seeing, right at the beginning I said it's either going to be about monetizing content or it's going to be about using AI to generate more for an existing business. More of what we watched was the latter, generating more income for an existing business. And I personally think that that's less gross, but I also think that the approaches to this are a little bit more nuanced. In particular, when you, as the marketing person or, whatever you want to call yourself, are doing this work on behalf of a business and whatever interaction that they have, whether it's an AI that answers the phone or whether it's a website or whatever, that is going to represent the client, their business, and they're going to have opinions about how that should work, as they should, because they built their business from the ground up. And part of why they built their business is because they wanted to say in how it was represented in people's first impressions of it. I think, though, you're going to have to work with people a lot more than a lot of these people let on. The clients are going to have opinions about things that you're going to have to take into consideration, and you're going to have to test some things. But yeah. In short, AI is a tool like any other tool. You need to know how to use it, and you're not going to be good at using it right away. And so you got to build in time for that. And to me, if you're working with a business and using AI on their behalf, you have to make sure that that business is comfortable with how you're using AI on their behalf, because I feel like that's the only ethical way to do it. So anyway, that's all I've got for today. If you have any like marketing questions, if you have a guru you want me to react to, something like that, you can leave it as a comment on this video. Or if you feel more shy, you can go to technicalsupport.com/contact and fill out the contact form of my website. That comes right to me. And this way I can see your opinion without everyone else seeing your opinion. If you want to watch more content, you can check out the Nicole Reacts playlist on the YouTube channel. It's also on technicalsupport.com/blog in the Nicole Reacts category. And if you think you might want to work together, you can schedule a free no obligation consult on my website, technicalsupport.com. I also have pricing listed, and it's not for everything that I can do, but it's just kind of the more common things that I've done for people. But I'm happy to come up with obviously something more custom for your particular situation. And one thing I think that's unique about me is that I don't mind training on anything that I know how to do. So if you have an enthusiastic staff member, or if you want to learn how to do some of these things yourself, part of our time together can be spent building the capacity within you or within your organization. Thanks so much for watching. And remember, these online gurus will keep on coming and keep on promising you that you can make thousands of dollars a month with no effort. And while I'm here to crush your dreams, I'm also here to make sure that you don't waste your time doing that kind of stuff and can instead do the kind of work that makes you money and ideally doesn't kill your soul. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.